Story 1. The Last Voice Note. The first voice note arrived at 2:17 a.m. I know the exact time because I was already awake, staring at my phone, letting the glow burn my eyes in the dark. Sleep hadn't come easily lately. It never did when the apartment felt too quiet, like the walls were holding their breath. My phone buzzed once. Not a call. A voice note. What made my stomach tighten was the sender. Me. My own name. My own number. Same contact photo. Same everything. I sat up slowly, heart thudding harder than it should have. I checked the details, expecting a glitch, a spoofed number, something explainable. But the timestamp chilled me. Sent 3 days from now. I laughed under my breath, nervous laughter, the kind you use to convince yourself you're not scared. Phones mess up sometimes, right? Time zones, corrupted data, delayed messages. Still, my finger hovered over the screen longer than it needed to. Why did I already feel like I knew what I was about to hear? I pressed play. At first, there was just static. Breathing. Fast. Uneven. Then a voice came through. Hoarse, strained, whispering like it didn't want to be heard. My God. Okay, if you're hearing this, then I didn't listen. I didn't listen again. My throat went dry. It was my voice. Not just similar, not close, mine. The same slight rasp when I'm anxious, the same way I rush words when I'm scared. Please, the voice continued, breaking. Please don't go back to the apartment tomorrow night. Don't stay there. Just leave. I don't care where you go, just don't be there after midnight. The voice cut off abruptly. The screen went dark. I sat frozen, phone trembling in my hand, every hair on my arm standing on end. I replayed it again and again, each time hoping I'd hear something different. I didn't. The fear didn't hit all at once. It crept in slowly, like cold air leaking through a crack. Questions piled up in my head, one after another. Had I recorded this while half asleep? Was I sleepwalking again? Or was this some elaborate prank I didn't remember setting up? But the timestamp wouldn't change. No matter how many times I refreshed, it stayed the same. 3 days in the future. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I tried to act normal. Coffee, shower, work. I told myself not to think about it, but the words kept echoing. Don't be there after midnight. At 11:46 a.m., my phone buzzed again. Another voice note. Same sender, same impossible timestamp, 2 days from now. I didn't want to open it, but you know how curiosity works, right? How it digs into your skull until you give in. I pressed play. This time, the breathing was worse. Ragged, like I'd been running. You're still not taking this seriously. I know because you never do. You think you can explain this away. A sharp inhale. I tried to leave today, I swear I did, but something keeps pulling me back, like the apartment knows when I'm gone. I laughed nervously, shaking my head. That was ridiculous. Apartments don't know things. They don't like being alone, the voice whispered. Please, pack a bag tonight. Leave before midnight. Don't wait. Don't try to be brave. The note ended with a sound I couldn't place at first. A faint knock from inside the recording. I locked my phone and shoved it into my pocket, heart racing. My mind was screaming for logic, stress hallucinations, anxiety. Maybe I was recording these and forgetting. But deep down, I knew the truth. I didn't remember making them because I hadn't yet. That night, I stood in the middle of my apartment, duffel bag half packed on the couch. I kept glancing at the door, at the hallway beyond it. Nothing looked wrong. No shadows moving, no strange sounds, just my familiar space. Couch, TV, kitchen light flickering like it always had. Was I really going to let a couple of voice notes scare me out of my own home? I checked the time. 11:42 p.m. I told myself I'd leave in a few minutes. Just enough time to calm down, to stop feeling stupid. At 11:59 p.m., my phone buzzed again. Another voice note. Same sender, same impossible timestamp, 1 day from now. My hands shook as I played it. This one started with crying. Not sobbing, quiet, broken whimpers, like someone trying not to make noise. I waited too long, my voice said. I always wait too long. I thought I had more time. A long pause. I can hear them moving now. Not footsteps, something heavier, like dragging. My chest tightened. I looked down the hallway toward my bedroom. The voice dropped to a whisper. They don't knock anymore. They just stand on the other side of the door and wait for you to notice. The recording cut off. At that exact moment, I heard it. A soft sound. From my bedroom. Something like fingers brushing against wood. I grabbed my bag and ran. I spent the night in my car, parked under a flickering streetlight. I didn't sleep. Every time my eyes closed, I heard that whisper again. They don't like being alone. The next day passed in a fog. I ignored calls, skipped work. I didn't go back to the apartment. At least, I tried not to. But around sunset, a strange feeling settled in my chest. A pull, a pressure, like homesickness twisted into something darker. I found myself driving without thinking, back towards the apartment. I told myself I just needed clothes, just one quick visit. It was almost midnight when I unlocked the door. The air inside felt wrong, thick, warm, like it had been waiting for me. My phone buzzed. Final voice note. Timestamp? Now. Hands shaking, I played it. The voice was calm this time. Too calm. Oh, thank God, my voice said softly. You made it. A pause. I was scared you wouldn't come back. My blood ran cold. You see, it doesn't work if you don't hear this. I needed you here. Needed you to listen. Slow breathing. They wanted a voice, a way to call you home. A sound came from behind me. The click of the bedroom door unlocking. They're right behind you now, my voice whispered. And in a moment, you'll understand why I had to send those messages. The recording ended, and my phone began recording a new voice note, addressed to myself. Have you ever ignored a warning because it came from yourself? And if you heard your own voice begging you to leave, would you listen? Story 2. Someone sleeps in my bed before me. The first thing I noticed was the warmth. I had come home late, past midnight, exhausted in that dull, heavy way where your body feels borrowed. I dropped my keys on the counter, kicked off my shoes, and went straight to the bedroom without turning on the lights. When I slid under the blanket, I froze. The sheets were warm. Not slightly warm like leftover heat from the day. This was fresh, human warmth, as if someone had just gotten up seconds before I arrived. I lay there, heart ticking louder than the clock on the wall, listening. Nothing. No breathing. No footsteps, no doors opening or closing. I told myself it was nothing. Apartments hold heat, mattresses trap warmth. You can explain anything if you want to badly enough. Still, I slept with the lights on. The second night, it happened again. This time, I checked the bed before lying down. I pressed my palm flat against the sheets. Warm. My throat tightened. I live alone. No roommates, no pets, no spare key floating around. The locks were fine, the windows were shut. I stood there in the dark, trying to laugh it off, but the sound came out wrong, thin, forced. Maybe I was imagining it. Stress does strange things to the body. The mind fills in gaps that don't exist. But then I noticed something else. The blanket was folded back slightly, not messy, careful, like someone who knew exactly how I slept. That night, I barely rested. Every creak of the building made my pulse spike. Every time I drifted off, I dreamed of someone lying beside me, perfectly still, waiting for me to notice. On the third morning, I found footprints, bare footprints. They started at my bedroom door and led toward the bed, then stopped. No prints going back. I stared at the floor for a long time, my mind refusing to cooperate. The prints weren't wet or dirty. They were faint impressions, like someone had walked across recently cleaned wood. I checked the door, still locked, deadbolt untouched, the windows closed. I didn't call the police. I didn't tell anyone. What would I even say? Someone sleeps in my bed before me, but disappears without a trace. Instead, I bought a camera, a small one, motion activated. I placed it on the bookshelf facing the bed. The red indicator light blinked softly, watching the space I was suddenly afraid of. That night, I stayed awake as long as I could. When sleep finally took me, it was shallow and restless. In the morning, I checked the footage. Nothing. 8 hours of empty room. No movement, no shadows, no glitches. Relief washed over me, followed by embarrassment. I had scared myself. That was all. But when I went to the bedroom, the bed was warm again. The fourth night, I didn't sleep at home. I stayed at a friend's place, making excuses about insomnia. I slept deeply there, dreamless and heavy. When I returned home the next evening, my stomach dropped the moment I opened the bedroom door. The pillow had an indentation, fresh, like a head had just lifted from it. I checked the camera immediately, my hands shaking as I scrubbed through the footage. At 2:11 a.m., the camera activated. The screen showed my bedroom door opening slowly. Someone stepped inside. The figure was dark, barely more than a silhouette, tall, thin, moving with strange familiarity like it had walked this path countless times. It sat on the edge of the bed. Then it lay down, facing the camera. I leaned closer to the screen, breath caught in my throat. The face came into focus. It was me. Same face, same scar on my chin, same tired eyes. But something was wrong. Its expression was empty, not asleep, not awake, waiting. The footage ended at 6:03 a.m. No recording of it leaving. I didn't go home that night. I watched the clip again and again, searching for signs of manipulation, deepfake, reflection, some trick of light. But I knew my face, and I knew that stillness. That was the same way I lay in bed when I couldn't sleep, staring at the ceiling, counting breaths, pretending not to think. On the fifth night, I stayed in my car outside the building. At 2:58 a.m., I saw the bedroom light turn on. I hadn't left it on. At 2:11 a.m., the light turned off. I didn't move, didn't breathe. At 6:04 a.m., the light came back on. That was when I ran. I stopped going to work, stopped answering messages. My world shrank to survival. Coffee, exhaustion, fear. I slept in motels, on couches, anywhere but my bed. But every night, no matter where I was, I woke up at 2:11 a.m., wide awake, heart racing, like something had nudged me from the inside. And every morning, I felt more tired than before, as if someone else had used my body while I wasn't looking. On the seventh night, my phone buzzed. A notification from the camera app. Motion detected. I hadn't been home in days. Against every instinct, I opened the feed. The camera showed my bedroom. The bed was empty. Then, the figure entered the frame. Me. But this time, it didn't lie down. It stood at the foot of the bed, staring directly into the camera, smiling. The notification timestamp blinked. 2:11 a.m. A message appeared beneath the video. You've been sleeping longer lately. My hands went numb. Another message followed. It's getting harder to wake you up. I went home. I don't remember deciding to. I just did. The door was unlocked. Inside, the air felt warm, lived in, comfortable. The bed looked perfect, smooth, inviting. I sat down slowly, every muscle screaming at me to leave. My phone buzzed one last time. A live camera feed. It showed me standing behind myself, close enough that I could feel breath on my neck. The message appeared. "You're exhausted. Let me take tonight." The lights went out, and for the first time in weeks, the bed felt cold. Story 3. The Road That Remembers You.
I was already tired when I saw the sign. That kind of tired where your eyes sting, your thoughts drift, and every mile feels longer than the last. I'd taken the highway hundreds of times before. Same stretch of road, same gas stations, same billboards peeling under fluorescent lights. That's why the sign didn't make sense. Old Mill Road, 2 miles. I'd never seen it before. I slowed slightly, squinting through the windshield. No construction cones, no warning lights, just a plain, weathered sign bolted into the ground like it had always been there. My GPS stayed silent. I checked the screen, still guiding me straight ahead. No turn, no reroute. I should have ignored it. But exhaustion does strange things to judgment, and 2 miles sounded better than another 40 minutes of empty highway. I took the exit. The moment my tires left the main road, the air changed. The hum of distant traffic vanished, replaced by a heavy quiet that pressed against my ears. The road narrowed quickly. Trees crowded in on both sides, their branches arching overhead like ribs. My headlights barely cut through the darkness. I glanced at the GPS again, recalculating. The map spun once, then went blank. No signal. A chill crawled up my spine. Great, I muttered, just great. I told myself I'd drive a little farther, just until I found a place to turn around. The road stretched on. No houses, no driveways, no mile markers, just asphalt and forest. After a few minutes, I noticed something else. The radio. It hadn't shut off, but the music was gone. Static filled the car, low and steady, like distant breathing. I reached to change the station. The static sharpened. Then a voice broke through. "You shouldn't be here." My hand froze. The voice wasn't clear. It sounded stretched, warped, like it was being pulled through water. I snapped the radio off. Silence flooded the car. I laughed nervously, gripping the steering wheel tighter. Late-night radio interference, that's all it was. I'd heard creepier things during storms. Still, I didn't turn the radio back on. That was when I saw the car. It sat half off the road, nose buried in the trees, hazard lights blinking weakly. The driver's door hung open. I slowed to a stop. Every instinct screamed to keep driving. But what if someone was hurt? I stepped out, the night air thick and damp against my skin. The forest felt too close, pressing in, watching. "Hello?" I called. No answer. The inside of the car was empty. No blood, no signs of a struggle. Just a cracked phone on the seat, screen dark. The license plate caught my eye. It looked familiar. My stomach dropped when I realized why. It was the same model as my car. Same color, same dent near the bumper. I stepped closer, heart pounding. The plate number was different, barely. 1 digit off. I backed away slowly, returned to my car and locked the doors. My hands shook as I started the engine. I didn't stop again. The road curved gently and then straightened. And suddenly, I was passing the crashed car again. Same blinking hazards, same open door, same silence. My chest tightened. "That's not possible," I whispered. I drove faster.
The trees blurred, the darkness thickened. My headlights flickered once, then steadied. Minutes passed. Then I saw it, the car, again. This time there was something new. Footprints in the dirt, leading away from the road, into the forest. I didn't stop. I couldn't. My breathing grew shallow. I checked the clock on the dashboard. 2:17 a.m. The time didn't change. No matter how long I drove, the clock stayed frozen. The fuel gauge dipped suddenly. I hadn't been driving that long. Had I? That's when the radio clicked on by itself. Static. Then the voice. "You always take shortcuts." I shook my head violently. "No," I said aloud. "No, no." "You always think you'll save time. You never listen." The road dipped sharply, headlights illuminating something ahead. Another car. My stomach turned cold. It was my car, my license plate, my number. The windshield shattered. Dark stains streaked the pavement. I slammed the brakes, skidding to a stop just short of it. My door locks clicked rapidly, engaging on their own. The radio whispered, softer now. "You didn't die right away." I squeezed my eyes shut. When I opened them, someone was standing by the wreck. Me, but wrong. Clothes torn, skin pale, eyes hollow, reflecting the headlights like glass. It raised its head slowly and looked straight at me and smiled. I don't remember getting out of the car. I remember standing on the road, the smell of gasoline thick in the air. The other me stepped closer. "You wondered what happened," it said. Its voice sounded layered, like multiple versions speaking at once. "You always wondered why some nights feel shorter than they should." I tried to move. I couldn't. "You don't remember the first time you took this road. You retired then too, distracted, just wanted to get home." The forest rustled behind it. Shapes shifted between the trees. Other cars, other people, other me's. "This road remembers," it said softly. "It keeps what doesn't finish the drive." The radio crackled from my car, static, then dozens of voices whispering together. I felt something press into my back, guiding me forward. "Don't worry," it said. "You'll get home." My vision blurred, the world tilted. I stumbled and fell. I woke up to sunlight. My car was parked neatly on the shoulder of the highway. Engine off, door closed. Traffic passed like nothing had happened. My phone buzzed. A notification. Trip completed. I checked the time. Morning. My clothes were clean. No smell of gasoline. No blood. Just a faint ache in my chest, like a bruise I couldn't see. I drove the rest of the way home in silence. Later that night, curiosity got the better of me. I searched for Old Mill Road. Nothing. No records, no maps, no mentions. Just one forum post buried deep online. If you see a road that isn't on your GPS, don't take it. It already knows where you're going. That night, I dreamed of headlights in the forest, and every time I drive past that stretch of highway now, I swear I see a sign that isn't there anymore. Have you ever taken a shortcut you couldn't remember later? Have you ever arrived somewhere without recalling the drive? And if a road knew your mistakes, would it let you pass twice?